You've probably heard the name, right? Kohinor? It's a word that brings up images of empires, incredible wealth, and power. But behind that legendary sparkle, there's a much darker story, one of conquests, curses, and a massive controversy that's still alive and kicking today. So, let's get into the untold story of the Kohinor diamond.
Here's the thing about this stone. For centuries, it has passed from one ruler to the next, but it was never, ever bought or sold. It was only taken. And this violent history, it's led a lot of people to ask, is the Koh-i-Noor just a priceless treasure, or is it carrying a terrible curse?
To really get what the big deal is, we have to start with its sheer size. I mean, when it was first discovered, the Koh-i-Noor was a colossal 793 carats. At the time, that was the largest diamond the world had ever seen. Can you even imagine the awe that must have inspired?
Now look at it today. The Koh-i-Noor weighs just 105.6 carats. So what on earth happened to the other 86%? That huge loss isn't just about making it smaller. It's like a physical scar that tells the story of its brutal, globe-trotting journey. A gem literally reshaped by the hands of its conquerors.
Okay, so our story kicks off way back in the 13th century. We're deep inside the famous Golconda mines in what's now Andhra Pradesh, during the rule of the Kakatiya dynasty. It was right here that a true legend was pulled from the earth.
The Kakatiya king who got his hands on it was so captivated by its brilliance, he didn't see it as just jewelry. To him, it was something divine. So he had this massive diamond installed as the left eye in the idol of the goddess Bhadrakali, where it was actually worshipped by his people.
But you know how it goes. An object with that kind of divine status and that kind of value, well, it was bound to attract people with more earthly ambitions. And this is where the Koh-i-Noor's sacred history really ends, and its long, bloody journey as a symbol of war and victory begins. It became a prize to be taken, not traded.
And its ownership started changing hands with the ferocity of battle. In 1310, Alauddin Khilji's general snatched it. Just over a decade later, it passed to the Tughlaqs. And then, in 1526, after the huge Battle of Panipat, it fell into the hands of Babur, the guy who founded the mighty Mughal Empire.
The first Mughal emperor, Babur, was just floored by this gem. He actually wrote in his memoir that its value was enough to feed the whole world for a day. This wasn't just some precious stone anymore. It was the ultimate symbol of an emperor's wealth and power.
But even the Mughals' grip on power wasn't always a sure thing. After a really bad defeat, Babur's son Humayun had to flee India and seek refuge with the Shah of Persia. And as a gesture of thanks, and probably a bit of desperation, he gifted the great diamond to the Shah. For the very first time, the Koh-i-Noor left its homeland.
Now, the diamond did eventually make its way back to the Mughals, but its journey was about to take its most dramatic turn yet. This next chapter involves a Persian invader named Nader Shah, and it would not only give the diamond its famous name, but also lock in its infamous curse.
So how did the diamond get its name? It's a fantastic story of pure cunning. After conquering Delhi, the Persian invader Nader Shah just couldn't find the famous gem. He soon found out the Mughal emperor, Muhammad Shah, had cleverly hidden it in his turban. So in this brilliant move, Nader Shah suggested they exchange turbans as a sign of friendship, an offer the emperor just couldn't refuse. As the diamond tumbled out, Nader Shah supposedly exclaimed, Koh-i-Noor, which is Persian for Mountain of Light, and well, the name stuck.
And with Nader Shah's ownership, those whispers of a curse grew a lot louder. There was this old Hindu text that was said to have warned, "He who owns this diamond will own the world, but will also know all its misfortunes. Only God or a woman can wear it with impunity." And just look at the pattern for its male owners. The Mughals faced decline. Nader Shah was brutally assassinated, and as we're about to see, the heirs of its next great owner also met violent ends.
After Nader Shah was killed, the diamond fell into the hands of his successors over in Afghanistan, but it was destined to return to India one last time, where it would become the absolute crowning glory of the rising Sikh Empire, under its powerful founder, Maharaja Ranjit Singh.
The diamond was brought back to India by an ousted Afghan ruler who was seeking help from the Maharaja. When the Maharaja asked about its value, the ruler's wife, Wafa Begum, gave this incredible reply. If a strong man threw 4 stones in 4 directions and a 5th one straight up, the entire space between them filled with gold would still not equal the value of the Koh-i-Noor.
Ranjit Singh, the Lion of Punjab, cherished this diamond like nothing else. He wore it proudly on his arm, even when he went into battle, as a symbol of his power and the might of his empire. For a brief, shining moment, the Kohinor was, without a doubt, the pride of an Indian kingdom once again.
But the curse, or maybe just the chaos of history, wasn't done yet. After Ranjit Singh died, the powerful Sikh empire he built started to crumble, and that paved the way for the diamond's final and most controversial journey.
So what happened? Well, Ranjit Singh's death in 1839 unleashed a decade of pure chaos. His successors were assassinated, one after another, leaving the empire incredibly vulnerable. The British East India Company saw its chance and invaded. After defeating the Sikhs, they forced the last Maharaja, who was just a 5-year-old boy named Dalip Singh, to sign the Treaty of Lahore, which required him to gift the Kohinor to Queen Victoria. Now, you'd think when this legendary diamond showed up in London for the Great Exhibition, people would be blown away, right? Not exactly. The British public was actually shocked at how dull it looked. It didn't have that fiery sparkle of European-cut gems. So, to improve it, Prince Albert ordered it to be recut. This decision chopped off over 40% of its weight, forever changing its ancient form just to satisfy Western tastes, and fit neatly into a British queen's crown.
But sticking it in a crown didn't end the story, not by a long shot. The way it was transferred from a boy king to a foreign queen remains this painful symbol of colonial rule, and it has sparked a huge international dispute over its rightful ownership that is still going on today. The whole question of ownership is just incredibly complex. You've got at least 4 countries that have laid a claim to the Kohinor, and each one has a pretty powerful historical argument. There's India, where it came from, Pakistan as the successor to the Sikh Empire's capital, and Afghanistan and Iran through the rulers who held it for generations.
So what about Britain? Well, for its part, the British government's position is firm. They argue the diamond was legally acquired through that Treaty of Lahore, and since it's been part of their heritage for over 150 years, its return is non-negotiable. It's still there in the Tower of London, a centerpiece of the crown jewels.
And that brings us right back to where we started, with this one giant, unanswerable question. What is the Kohinor? Is it a piece of British heritage, legally acquired? Is it the stolen property of one of several nations that it once called home? Or is it, as many people believe, the ultimate spoil of war, a relic of a colonial past that can never really be polished clean? That mountain of light continues to cast a very, very long shadow.